And welcome back to Flexible Games, where we are playing Satisfactory. And as you can see, I'm in a whole different world here, whole different area of the map. We are way over to the east in this little depression right here, mainly because of some of the resources that are over here. When we start getting into the super production, the uber production part of this, we are going to need so many vast materials that I didn't really want to mess with what we had over at the main base or at the arc reactor processing area, because it's going to be a lot of material. Yeah, I've been prototyping things and stuff, and I unlocked the Mark IV level of machines for the Mark++ mod, and these have a little bluish purplish tinge to them, and they are much better in terms of throughput. I talked to the mod developer and convinced him that you know, a bigger bump from the Mark III to the Mark IV was warranted, not only because of the cost of the machines themselves. As you can see, it includes a server-like thing, and those are quantum servers that the mod introduces. So that's another thing to craft, and they are not cheap. And I've also talked to him about the expense of these, by the way. Just the sheer amount of resources that goes into these. It costs, like, just to unlock tier 4, and it costs over like 2,300 of the heavy frames, and I'm like, that's too much. That's a little extreme. So yeah, so hopefully they'll get those reduced in cost. But these machines are great. Again, they craft at 500%. So something like this, as you can see, one refinery takes 300 a minute crude oil. So one refinery is able to take the entire output of one basically pipe worth of oil, and it produces exactly what we need in terms of, like, the residue or the fluid per minute is 100, as you can see. So 3 of these together would make, let's see, we could do petroleum coke, or 2 of these together rather, would make petroleum coke at 1,200 a minute. So yeah, we're going to be able to have a lot of production here. And as a prototype, I set up, because we're going to be putting in a lot of foundations. As you can see, this entire area, I've got it way off in the distance. You can barely see that line right there. This entire area is going to be covered in foundations, and that's just the first layer. There's going to be layers above that as well. But as a prototype, I set up down there a system for working with concrete. I wanted to take every output on a Mark IV miner. So there are 6 belts at 2,000 a minute coming out of that miner right there and going into all of this setup. Each one of those Mark IV constructors is overclocked 222% exactly, giving us, and if there was power, giving us 499.5 consumption of limestone. So 4 of these is all that's needed to fully consume that Mark VI belt. So let's get this hooked up again. I disconnected it just because I wanted to show this on camera. This is extremely funny. But each line of this, so we have 12 in a line, right? There's 12 constructors here producing 166.5 per minute. Well, if you take that times 12, you get like 1,998.5 or something like that, or 1998 per minute. So this line alone is able to max out at 2,000 a minute belt, and that's why I have 2 lines going in there. So this setup here can do 4,000, roughly 4,000 concrete a minute, which is a lot. It's a lot of concrete. And hello, Mr. Stupid little cow thing. Okay. Anyway, so 2,000 a minute. Let's see what that looks like. It is a little humorous. Isn't that beautiful? That's so beautiful. But yeah, 2,000 a minute going up. Little gaps every once in a while, and that's that little 1998 versus 2000. So little gaps here and there are expected, but as far as filling this huge storage up, this thing will fill up in no time. As you can see, it is crazy how fast that thing goes in. So that is one element that we've got taken care of. I wanted to get limestone up and running first, concrete, because of all the foundations we're going to need in here. I wanted to make sure I had plenty of local concrete production to maintain this. Now we're going to take a peek at a spreadsheet that I have compiled in order to try to calculate just how much raw materials and things that we're going to need to produce in order to get to our goal of 60 turbo motors per minute. It's a lot, by the way. So we're going to take a quick peek there. Just going to cut away from the screen, and we will come back with that spreadsheet. All right, so this is the spreadsheet that I've created to try to calculate just how many materials that we are going to need. And all of these numbers, all of these production numbers, are based on the Mark III machines, not the Mark IVs. So I do have to tweak this a little bit to get to the Mark IV value, the Mark IV values. But as far as raw materials needed a minute, that will largely remain unchanged, just because of the production is going to be faster across the board. So as far as like raw copper a minute and stuff like that, or at least products, it's going to remain relatively the same, the raw consumption per minute of the factory itself. So all of the numbers will elevate, but all of the production numbers will elevate as well. So production of steel will elevate alongside, the production of iron and all that kind of stuff. So I do have to go in here and tweak all of these values in order to get a better sense of how many raw machines that I'm going to need. But as far as the throughput, that's going to remain unchanged. So as you can see, turbo motors right here, the per minute need is 60. This makes 5.6. So if we take 5.6 or 60 divided by 5.6, you get 10.7, blah, blah, blah. And I just round this down or up. So I take whatever number is given to me, and then I round it up, and that's what production I need for this. So this is actually this per minute need times 11, and it just gives me the number of motors per minute that I'm going to need for this turbo motor step, which is 121 motors per minute. Now that is fairly doable. That can be done with 9 of these machines, and that I'm not having a big issue with that. What really kills is this radio control unit. 110 of these a minute. That line, the radio control unit line, is why most of what you see in this spreadsheet is here. This radio control unit is crazy. So if you can see, I break down and I color code everything. So motors and motors. So I also set if there's an alt recipe for that and which alt recipe it is. So the rigger motors and the rigger turbo motors, those are the two alt recipes. And the radio control, the alt is 3 each craft, etc., etc. So just giving you an idea, you can pause this if you want. Why is that there? You can pause this if you want and get an idea of what I'm going for here, just to see the sheer numbers. Now, breaking this down, as you can see, total numbers of copper sheets per minute. Because copper sheets are one of the things that are used in quite a few recipes. We've got them here, down here at the heat sinks. The heat sinks are going to need 1,687 copper sheets a minute. And you can see this actually adds up all the different copper sheets that I have here. So copper sheets is a huge, huge, huge draw on this crafting process. So you know, AI limiters, there is no alt for these. So this right here, again, these numbers based off of the Mark III machines, not the Mark IVs. I'm gonna have to redo this. But you can see quick wire for AI limiters, quick wire per minute, 7,600 quick wire per minute. That's another thing I need to find in my factory here, is just the raw amount of Caterium that I'm going to need for this. But as you can see, supercomputers, we're going to use AI limiters, we're going to use high-speed connectors. That breaks down high-speed connectors, is going to require silica and more quick wire. So as you can see, the crystal oscillators, look at that. Crystal oscillators, 84 here that I need, and I think there's somewhere else. Where is, there they are, way up here. So motors are going to need them, 22.5 per minute, and then down here, computers are going to need 84 per minute. So a total of 106.5 per minute. That's a lot of crystal oscillator crafters. So take 30 minutes. That's like 15 crafters, just for crystal oscillators, and it's going to be a lot. So this is why this entire area is going to be just crazy amount of crafting, because every step of this, from stators and rotors to heat sinks to you know, copper sheets and Caterium, all of these steps are going to require massive setups, and I want to make sure that everything is organized and coming in the way that it needs to. But that is a good snapshot of what we're going for here. And now back to the game. All right. So now that you have an idea of just how much raw material that we're going to use, now let's get into finding some of the resources that we are going to need. We're going to need a lot of resources. So I know where there is a little bit of, yeah, right over there, there's some copper. Let's head on over here. Hey, it looks like all the nuts regrew. When I went through this whole area, I was like gathering all the food and all that kind of stuff. All right, so, oh yeah, there they are. Interesting. So there's some copper right there. So what I want to do is place down a Mark IV miner right in there. So basically what I'm gonna, the general gist of what I'm gonna do is we are gonna use the new mod I added this in the stream as well, but it's the packing mod. And let's see, where did I not unlock that yet? I don't think I unlocked the packing mod yet. Coming in for a landing. All right, let's head back over here. Packing, there it is. 1,000 plate. Should be fairly straightforward. All right, so packing is going to allow us, there's a packing machine in here, there it is. That's going to allow us to package items and not need so many raw belts in order to move items. And it's going to be very, very helpful. And we have a Renegade here helping out. Because we have a lot of foundations to build, and doing that alone is going to take a very, very, very long time. So Anyway, back to it. Are you lost? Do you need to know where to go?
Yeah.
Yeah, take this first tube out to there, then take the next tube to the same direction, goes out to steel. So just keep heading east, and then beyond steel, just further east from there, you should see a walkway. Eventually get out there. It's all connected. So, all right. The other resource that's over here that I really need. First, let's find a iron. Where is an iron deposit? There's 3 of them right down there. Okay, so if I float my way down there. I've been using this rocket launcher quite extensively around here. Okay, so pure iron there. It doesn't really matter what purity it is, but I want to get some of these set. We're going to need at least, I think, 2 iron. Because we're going to need steel and stuff like that over here, right? So, and there's another iron over here for us to use if we so chose. Oh, there's a gas flower. Let's take that out. I've been trying to clear up the land here. I hear a growly. Another growly. I hear another one. Oh, maybe I was hearing things. Maybe it was a post-mortem growly. Look at all the gas flowers out here. Jeez. No idea. I did kill myself once with this rocket launcher, so it is possible to do damage to yourself. Just FYI. Do not shoot things too close to you. Okay. Now we need coal, and I do believe there's a bunch of coal right over here somewhere. There's another limestone if I need it. Don't think I'll probably need more than 2,000 a minute limestone, or 2,000 a minute concrete, but you never can be too sure. So that's good to know that that's there. There's some coal. I knew there was coal around here. So we have 1 coal here, 1 coal over here. So if I grab a Mark IV miner, this is the last one I can build. So like right there. So we have a little, let's see. I need to get back up. You can see that we are way above. So what my plan is with these materials is package them up down here at their level. Bring those packages up and then have a floor under this one that basically smelts them up or gets them ready for use. And then on this level here, oh man, I walked into some fireflies. Firefly distracted. This level here will be either further processing or initial creation of materials. Good Lord. Get rid of all those fireflies. Or at least try to.
I strongly advise you to harvest this specimen.
No, I don't think I'll harvest that specimen. Thank you very much. Okay. So, yeah, we have a level here that we could use to smelt all that copper or package it up and send it up north or send it above. Because, you know, I want a nice flat area with as few big, you know, giant things in it as possible. And let's see, over on that way, as you can see, I've got way off in the distance there, something goes up and over that mountain. And that over there is, we have a deposit of bauxite and a deposit of sulfur. And if we look, bauxite and sulfur is right in here in this little swampy area. I think the sulfur is basically like right here, and then the bauxite is somewhere back in here. So again, we're going to box those up and send them out. The other thing is pumps. That's the other thing I wanted to show off over here before we got too far along. And be careful, there's just a whole lot of nothing down there. So there's oil deposits down here as well. So there's a normal, there's a pure, and I want the pures. So again, look at that baby. That is a pump and a half. 6 outputs for that thing. And right now it has no power, but you can see 720 a minute. But if I don't have any overclockers on me. If you put one of these on a pure node and overclock it 100, you know, all the way up, it'll produce exactly how many you need to max. So what is that? 6 times 3, 1800 a minute at 250%. Now it's going to require a gross amount of power, but that's a trade-off. You know, I don't want to do the normal because you don't get that much. And with the easy packing mod, we'll be able to actually use a lot of that. Basically pack it locally and then move it downwind a little bit and process it somewhere else. So back in here, I pre-scouted this area. There's a crude. Both of these are pure nodes, which is glorious. So we have more oil potential here than we have anywhere else. Like it's going to be a crazy amount of oil. I don't know why it takes so long to pick up those slugs, but whatever. So we have the easy packing mod. So basically each one of these, I'll be able to package up. So we're going to need 12 refineries over here, which is why I wanted this lower area to be strictly for resource organization. Because when you're dealing with this much production, this many resources, it's going to be crazy. I'm trying to get to high ground here. Oh, I hear the scrippy scrapings, and we have yeah, I see you, fart flower. I do love this rocket launcher. So epic. Because there's just too many distractions down here. All right. So we have most of the resources that we're going to need. ready and raring to go. And here's an autosave. These autosaves are taking a little time now. It's quite the hitch on autosaving. There's definitely about a 5-second hitch in there. All the flora and the fauna in this place has been untouched for this whole game, and now all of a sudden it's like Armageddon down here. Look at all the fart flowers down here. Oh. Alright, you guys want to up close and personal? I can do up close and personal. You don't want to fire that rocket launcher too close to yourself. I died doing that, and it was no fun running back out here. No fun at all. Alright, well, that is going to have to do it for this episode. We have a lot of prep work to do, and I didn't want to spend an entire episode building foundations, but I wanted to show kind of what this looked like, you know, before we started, and get a good idea of just how much work this is going to be prepping this area for you know, repurposing. Ooh, is this another? Ooh, this is another. It's another copper vein. That'll come in handy. Okay, excellent. It's impure, but that doesn't matter with the Mark IV miner. So this is copper way over here. Okay, well, I can deal with that. We have a more spiders. Great. Great. Some boulders that could be getting rid of. It's one thing the rocket launcher can't do is get rid of these boulders, unfortunately. All right, well, that's going to do it for this episode, and I thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.